Let me tell you something, being let go isn't your downfall. It's your beginning. When they left, when they doubted you, when they pushed you aside and decided you weren't worth their time, their energy, their attention, it hurt. Of course it did, but look at you now, you're still here, you're still breathing, and you're about to rise in a way that makes their silence louder than their words ever were. You see, the truth is, some people only value you when you're useful to them. When you're showing up, giving your energy, supporting their dreams, they smile. But the second you step into your own power, when you start saying no to what drains you and yes to your own growth, they fall silent. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your growth reminds them of what they aren't doing. And that silence you're hearing now, it's not peace, it's not disinterest, it's discomfort. They're watching. Silently, closely, because deep down they know they underestimated you. You were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to be tolerated. You were meant to become undeniable. Let them watch. Let them scroll past your progress. Let them see your name pop up, your energy glow, your wins stack higher and higher. Don't respond. Don't explain. Don't shrink. Keep going. You don't owe anyone the story of your healing. You don't owe them the details of your comeback. Your life is not a press release. It's a living testimony of what happens when you stop waiting for approval and start trusting yourself. They let you go because they couldn't handle your future. Maybe they couldn't see it. Maybe it made them uncomfortable, or maybe your strength reminded them of everything they were afraid to chase. That's not your problem. That's not your responsibility. You don't chase people. You chase purpose. When someone lets you go, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a job, or any situation where you were fully present, and they chose to walk away, it's easy to take it personally. It's easy to internalize that pain, twist it into self-doubt, and start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Was I not enough? But here's the truth most people don't hear often enough. Rejection isn't always about you. It's about them, and more importantly, it's about your redirection. Sometimes life removes people from your path because they are not meant to walk with you into your next level. It's not punishment, it's protection. It's preparation. You're being rerouted, and no, it doesn't feel good in the moment. You cry, you question everything. You want answers, closure, clarity. But the universe doesn't always give you those things wrapped in a bow. Sometimes it gives you silence so you learn to listen to your own voice instead of chasing someone else's validation. When they let you go, it stings. It can feel like betrayal, but dig deeper. Ask yourself, was I truly growing in that environment? Was I fully seen? Was I fully respected? Was I even happy? Most of the time, the answer is no. You just got comfortable. You got used to settling. You got used to pouring into people who never poured back. You stayed out of fear of being alone, not because it was the right place for your evolution. And then, life did what you were too afraid to do. It ended it. Now here you are. Alone, maybe. Quiet, definitely. And this is where redirection begins. This is the place where you finally stop shrinking yourself to fit their expectations and start asking yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to become? It's not about revenge. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You always had the strength. You always had the ideas. You just needed the space. And sometimes that space doesn't come until something is stripped away. Rejection is a reset. It's a release. It's the fire that burns away everything that was keeping you small. And from those ashes, something powerful is born, clarity. You stop begging for attention. You stop explaining your worth. You stop replaying the past. Instead, you start building quietly, consistently, boldly. You show up for yourself the way others never did. You don't need the people who couldn't see your value to suddenly recognize your worth. That's not your job. Your job is to rise anyway. Your job is to wake up every day and do the work, not to prove anything to them, but to fulfill everything in you that's been screaming to be seen, to be expressed, to be unleashed. And here's the twist that no one talks about. Later on, those same people who let you go will look back and realize they didn't lose the old version of you. They lost the upgraded one, the healed one. The one who walked through fire alone and came out unrecognizable. But by then, you won't need their applause. You'll be too busy clapping for yourself. So when life closes a door, stop standing there knocking. Don't beg to be let back into rooms where your energy was ignored. Don't chase after people who chose not to choose you. Take that pain and turn it into power. Use it, build with it, heal with it. Let it fuel your rise, not because you're angry, but because you've finally remembered who you are. They let you go, let them, because in doing so, they handed you something priceless. Freedom, freedom to grow, freedom to move, freedom to become everything they couldn't see. That's the real win. That's the real story. Not the rejection, but the redirection, and what you choose to do with it. Your new chapter starts here, not because they walked away, but because you kept walking forward. That's what makes you unstoppable. There's a moment after people let you go that feels the loudest, and it's filled with nothing but silence. No texts, no calls, no support, just quiet. At first, that silence feels like emptiness, like a void where once there was connection, affirmation, validation. You might even ask yourself, do they care? Do they notice I'm gone? And then comes the doubt, the ache, the questioning of your own worth because the ones who used to be in your corner aren't clapping anymore. But here's what no one tells you, that silence, that stillness, that's not rejection, that's a reflection of the noise they needed from you, a reflection of what they took, not what they gave. The quiet isn't about your absence, it's about their inability to replace your presence. Let me be real with you. The loudest move you'll ever make is to grow in silence, to level up when no one's watching, to evolve when no one is cheering. The applause, the likes, the comments, none of it matters when you're doing it for yourself, because the work you do in the dark always shows up in the light. The people who stopped talking, who stopped showing up, they're still watching. You know they are. They're scrolling. They see your name pop up. They hear about you through someone else. They feel that shift, that growth, that power, and they don't know how to respond. So they stay quiet. Because they never expected you to rise. They thought letting you go would break you. They assumed your worth depended on their attention. And now, watching you glow from a distance, that silence is heavy. It's awkward. It's loud in its own way. Don't let the silence fool you. Don't misinterpret it as failure. Sometimes the quiet season is the preparation season. This is the time where you get to build without the noise. You get to become someone they never imagined, and you don't owe them updates. You don't owe them proof. You owe it to yourself to keep going without needing a single "I see you" from anyone who disappeared. This is where the shift happens. When you stop living for recognition and start living for transformation, because real growth isn't loud, it's not always flashy, sometimes it's painful, it's lonely, it's quiet nights and early mornings. It's showing up day after day when nobody is watching, and that's where your power is built. In the moments no one sees, let them watch in silence, let them wonder, let them wrestle with the question of how. While you stay focused on the why, you don't need to post every win. You don't need to prove your process. Just keep going, keep building, keep healing, because silence from them means nothing when the voice inside you is finally speaking louder than all their absence. When you learn to walk through silence without losing your drive, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting to be seen and start realizing you were meant to shine without permission. That's not arrogance. That's clarity. That's ownership of your journey. That's what happens when the noise fades and you find yourself. So next time you hear silence after being let go, don't panic, don't shrink, smile. That silence is your signal, your confirmation, your green light. The universe isn't punishing you. It's positioning you. Stay locked in. Stay focused. Let the silence speak, because your actions are screaming louder than words ever could. You don't need anyone's permission to grow. Let me repeat that. You don't need anyone's permission to become everything you were meant to be. Not from your past, not from your circle, not from the people who let you go. Your transformation is not up for discussion. It's yours, it's sacred, and it doesn't need a round of applause to be real. Too many people stay stuck because they're waiting for someone to say, I believe in you, or now you're ready, or go for it. But here's the truth. That moment may never come, and even if it does, it will come too late, because the people who couldn't see your worth before won't suddenly start celebrating your rise. They'll watch silently, they'll hesitate, and they'll pretend like they were always on your side when the world starts noticing you. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is not to go back and beg them to recognize who you're becoming. Your job is to move, to rise, to evolve without needing a stamp of approval, because if you wait for permission, you'll waste the most valuable thing you have, time. Progress is messy. It's not always perfect or linear. And because of that, people will question it. They'll doubt it. They'll try to hold you to who you used to be because it makes them feel safer. They'll say, you've changed, like it's an insult, but that's the point. You have changed. You've grown, you've shifted, you've stepped out of the box they tried to keep you in, and now they're uncomfortable. That's not your problem. Don't get distracted trying to explain your growth to people who refuse to grow with you. If they couldn't clap when you were down, they don't deserve a front row seat when you're on the rise. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to become the version of yourself you've always known you could be, even if nobody else saw it yet. You have to stop waiting for the right moment, the right support, the perfect plan. There is no ideal time to begin. You start now, in the middle of the chaos, in the face of doubt, in the silence. You build. You move, you heal, you push through, and you do it because your future is worth more than their opinions. Here's the power move. You make progress quietly. You move in silence, not to hide, but to protect what's sacred. You work while they doubt. You learn while they scroll past. You evolve while they talk. And one day they'll look up and realize they were watching the beginning of something unstoppable. Let them stay confused. Let them wonder. While they wait for evidence, you create it. While they hesitate, you act. While they stay stuck, you move forward. And eventually, your growth will speak for itself. You didn't need permission to be hurt. You didn't need permission to be broken. So you don't need permission to rise, to win, to succeed, to heal. You're allowed to outgrow people. You're allowed to become someone they don't recognize. That's not a betrayal. That's progress. You were not made to stay where they left you. You were made to break through. And once you realize that you don't owe anyone a version of yourself that keeps them comfortable, everything changes. So stop waiting, start becoming, because progress belongs to the ones who decide they're worthy of it, even when no one else does. Your comeback is not a performance. It's not a spectacle for the ones who walked away. It's not a statement for the ones who doubted you. It's a return to yourself, a reconnection with the version of you that you lost while trying to be everything for everyone else. It's about becoming whole, not for them to notice, but for you to breathe again. For you to look in the mirror and finally see someone strong, grounded, healed, and unstoppable. We live in a world where everything is broadcasted. Every move, every step, every little victory is posted, shared, and measured by likes and comments. But real transformation doesn't need an audience. The best parts of your growth happen in silence, in solitude, in spaces no one sees and no one claps for. That's where the real comeback begins, not on the outside, but deep within. You don't need to announce your healing. You don't need to prove your strength. You don't need to take revenge through words or carefully curated captions. Let everyone wonder. Let them stay confused. Let them sit in silence. The ones who let you go aren't your target. They're not your reason. They were just a detour on the way to something greater, and the longer you try to show them, the more power you give away. The more distracted you become. Here's the truth: the most powerful comebacks are the quiet ones, the ones that don't demand attention but naturally command it. When you heal for real, you don't need to flaunt it. You radiate it. It's in your energy, your peace, your presence. You walk differently because you no longer carry the weight of being misunderstood. You speak differently because you no longer need validation. That's the kind of transformation that shakes the ground. Not noise, but substance. Your comeback isn't about being seen. It's about seeing yourself clearly again. After all the pain, the betrayal, the letting go, you stood back up. Not because someone pulled you out, but because you decided you were worth saving. That decision, that moment, that shift, that's your victory. That's the win, and it's worth more than any applause. You're not here to get even. You're here to get free. Free from proving, chasing, performing. Free from the idea that your worth is tied to someone else's attention. Let that go. You're not here to make noise for the ones who left. You're here to build something solid for the one who stayed. You. Because at the end of the day, when it's quiet, when the lights are off and the followers fade, the only thing that matters is who you are when no one's watching. That's the core, that's the foundation, and that's what this comeback is really about. Becoming someone you're proud of, someone who didn't break under the pressure, someone who chose to grow. Don't chase closure. Don't look for recognition. Let your life speak. Let your joy, your peace, your success whisper, I did it, and I didn't need anyone's permission. That's power. That's real confidence. So keep going. Keep building, keep becoming. The world may not understand it now. The people who let you go may never admit they were wrong, but none of that matters, because your comeback isn't for them, it's for you. And that makes it unshakable. Let them watch. Let them sit back in silence, scroll through your wins, see your name pop up without a single word from their lips. Let them feel the weight of what they gave up, what they overlooked, what they underestimated. Don't shrink, don't explain, don't reach out to say, look at me now. You don't need to, because your actions, your growth, your strength, they're louder than anything you could ever say. The best revenge is not anger. It's not shouting your success from the rooftops. It's peace. It's confidence. It's walking past everything that once broke you and not even flinching. The same people who let you go thought you'd fall apart without them. They thought you needed their approval, their support, their validation to survive. But look at you, still standing, still building, still becoming. That alone is enough. There's something powerful about not responding. Not clapping back, not proving anything, just becoming undeniable. And here's the truth, people notice, they always do. They may not say a word, they may not double, tap or drop a comment, but they're watching. Because something about your strength speaks to something in them that they haven't figured out yet. Your growth makes them uncomfortable, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because they never expected you to rise. That's why you've got to keep your eyes forward, keep your heart clean, let your discipline talk for you, let your results echo louder than any words you could throw back at them, because silence isn't weakness, it's power. It's focus, it's maturity. It says, I don't need to scream to be heard, I am the message. And don't think for a second that your progress goes unseen. It doesn't matter how quiet they are, trust me, they feel it. They see you moving different, speaking different, showing up different, and deep down they know. They know they lost access to someone rare, someone real, someone resilient, and the pain of that realization will come quietly, slowly, bit by bit, but you won't be there to witness it. You'll be too busy building a life that makes their silence irrelevant. You're not here to drag people along. You're not here to beg for recognition. You're here to evolve, to expand, to outgrow the spaces that couldn't hold your light. So let them sit on the sidelines. Let them watch your story unfold without ever knowing the chapters it took to get there. That mystery, that's your power. You don't need to post every victory. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone who treated you like you were replaceable. The ones who let you go already showed you how little they valued what you brought to the table. So why bring them a seat now? Why try to get them to see what they chose not to see when it mattered? Let your life be the proof. Let your energy do the talking. Let your consistency make the noise. Not to show off, but because you finally understand. You don't owe your comeback to anyone but yourself. So keep going, keep working, keep healing, and when you catch them watching silently, when you feel their presence in the background, don't flinch. Smile, because you've already won. You didn't just rise, you rose with grace, and you did it without needing a single person who didn't believe in you. Let them watch, that's all they can do now.